Okay traders, welcome back to Mr. K Trading Official. So today we are trading the live cattle futures market live. So firstly I'm just going to turn this down slightly. So guys, a few things before we start. The course is being made. I've had a few people email me about that. So yeah, that is in the works as we speak. The one-to-one is available, right? So I don't do the classic funnel that a lot of people do on here because it's quite scammy and it's quite pushy. I'd rather have a conversation before. So if you are interested in learning, just drop me an email. The email's on the account. It is alex@mrktradingofficial.co.uk. So yeah, just drop me an email. We can have a proper chat rather than you just buying something that you're not really sure what it is. And then we can also have a chat about whether it's right for you as well. So it's important that, I find so many people, they'll just jump into trading, but you want to talk to someone about what it's like and whether it's the right type of lifestyle for you as well. So why do I do this, right? It's a good day to talk about this. So it's the 9th of July 2026. So 2 years ago to the day my partner was murdered. And essentially I had an amazing life, right? I had lots of money, an amazing partner. And she used to love watching me trade, used to always say to make a YouTube channel. And now she's not with us anymore. I thought it was the perfect time to do it. There's obviously an element nowadays of, like, a lot of people say if you're learning to trade, don't tell anyone because it can be embarrassing and things like this. So obviously this for me is way out my comfort zone, but it's important to do it. And also I find someone's only embarrassed if they don't know what they're doing, right? I'm a professional at this. I'll be honest, I've made more money than most people I know my age, so I'm well within my rights to teach this type of stuff. Another thing is that I'm not a YouTuber, I'm not a content creator, I'm a trader, so it's just really important to mention that. I understand my videos probably aren't really entertaining graphics wise. However, everyone that trades and trades well knows that trading is boring, right? Good investment is boring. So stick with me, you're going to learn some really cool and exciting things about how financial markets work, and on top of that, just get a general feel for how my lessons work as well. So it's all good stuff. I try and make it as entertaining as possible, but obviously good trading is boring. The good thing about me not being a content creator for you guys is that this is raw, right? I'm not editing, I'm not using any AI for my video or anything, simply because I don't know how to. So you're getting it raw, right? Which is probably the best way. Now another thing is, right, why am I doing these videos before the course is ready, before I'm fully ready to launch the website, etc.? It's really to show you what I'm about, but also to record my skill, right? So there'd be no point in me launching a website and having no previous videos of me trading. So that's another reason why I'm doing this, so you can see how I work as well. Now, a lot of people watching this wouldn't have seen this type of trading, and I just want to show you something, right? Because as we all know, 95% of people lose money in the financial markets, right? So you can see I already had it ready. Let's type in how to trade 2026, and I just want to show you guys something here, because it's sad, for an industry that I love. So every single video is candlesticks. Now I'm not hating on any of these guys, they do their thing, but every single one is candlesticks. candlesticks, 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 support, resistance, candlesticks. It's all candlesticks, guys. I mean, I could scroll for days. And candlesticks, candlesticks. And what we have to realize, guys, is that if genuinely 95% of traders are losing money, then surely it makes sense to do something that not everyone else is doing, right? Something out the ordinary that you don't see all the time on here, right? So that is what I'm here for. If that's something you're looking for, you're in the right place, because here we do things differently. I learnt to trade in wine originally, right? So with wine, there's a market profile of a sort, right? Because we're accumulating buyers en primeur, so that's before it's barreled. That is where I learned the rotational behavior of the market profile alongside many other things. But that's why I'm going to call this video on YouTube How to Trade 2026, because this should be the new thing for people, right? This is how it's done, essentially. And I think it's time for us to escape the candlestick era, and it's sad, to be honest. I go to a lot of trading events and a lot of people trade this way, and they just don't get anywhere, and they spend years back testing, building a strategy, but there is no such thing as a strategy, guys. There's obviously the strategy of trading and how you're trading, what you're doing. But there isn't a strategy of, if the market does this, I do this, and because the alpha is the trader, right? We find the alpha in our discretion. If there was such thing as a strategy, which everyone seems to teach, then you wouldn't be the asset, right? Someone could just code what you do, the strategy, and they're off. But as we all know, coding in trading does not work, because the markets are so dynamic, right? The trader is the asset, is the alpha. So we're going to start today with the day type from yesterday, right? So we're going to go purely on the market profile for now. So what are we seeing here, right? Now, obviously, if you were to become a student of mine, we go much deeper into a lot of this content, but just a quick review, right? The range in ticks, that is the full range of the market profile. So it's currently 39 ticks compared to an average of, I'd say, around 100 for live cattle a day. Obviously, yesterday was huge, 165. The TPOs above and below the point of control. So that's essentially a battle, so it's 15 v 20, which is actually against my short trade right now, right? So that's okay. It doesn't mean much, especially when we're only in the initial balance, right? We're only in the first two periods, so not a big deal for now. Now this is what does matter, the rotation factor, -1. That is the calculation adding up, so it's best to do it on a day that is already complete. So we're essentially just adding every low. You want to split them into their own column. When the low is higher than the previous low, it's +1. When it's lower than the previous low, it's -1, and you just do that calculation for everyone. I have it already calculated for me, obviously to save time, because that's the one thing trading is always the time, right? We're always looking to maximize our time. So of course, right, RF there, rotation factor. On a short day, we want that to be in the minuses. Now, if we look at yesterday, rotation factor was 3. Now, that could lead to a long day, right? Buying this market from majority of participants. However, we're in a low volume area, so that's why I've decided to go short and to potentially test this previous area of value. And then the last one at the top here is total volume. It's sort of covered by my profit targets, but total volume is just the full amount of volume, all of these added up for the day. Now what have we got here? It's a simple volume profile. As the orders come in on the footprint, on the depth of markets, you can see here, as they come in, each order comes in, it adds to that volume profile. I've got the price in the brackets just so that I don't have to bother looking, you know, what price is it? It just tells me straight away, so it's much easier. Skip that advert. Yeah, I guess a few of these people got a nice advertisement there from me. But yeah, you do not want to be trading like that, guys. Because it's simply put, it's so dangerous to enter the market with using candlesticks that, let's be honest, guys, you know, a child could draw most of these patterns and these lines and these Fibonacci's. And remember, this is a very, very difficult profession. If a child can draw these things, guys, it's a massive red flag, you know. So here we go. That is the figures that I've got on the screen explained. So the range in ticks, the TPOs above and below the point of control, that ratio, we've got the rotation factor -1, and we've got the total volume. Okay, that was just me adjusting the volume a little bit. So let's look at the day type yesterday, right? Really nice balance. You can see this day here. In fact, let me get the pen up. There we go. We can see that, guys. Really nice balance. That's actually a terrible drawing. So really nice balance, guys, right? And that's amazing for us coming into today. So a few reasons. Firstly, where have we opened, right? So key to always focus on this. Where have we opened? We're at the extremes of yesterday. Okay, we are at these extremes from yesterday. Very low volume in this extreme, apart from when we reach 2378. That high volume node is going to slow market participation, which is done right now. So we're sort of at this halt period in the B period within the initial balance. So that's my first key to short for the day, right? Returning to balance. There's not really anything happening here. The open drive in the A period attempted to test this previous value area low. I think it's around 2387, but it didn't get there, right? Sellers are immediately in. Remember, we're still in the initial balance period as well, so it's mainly going to be locals before other time frame participants really enter, which is in about 7 minutes. So it's a really nice zone to sell back into balance, right? Because we haven't opened outside of the range. Important to mention though, we're within range, but we aren't, right? We aren't within, let me just delete these. We are not within balance of the previous day. And that's why I think it's such a nice opportunity to rotate us back into yesterday's balance. So it's this initial open, short open drive, rejection, short retest, and then look to retest this value area high 237 roughly. So that's the plan for today, right? And I hope that makes sense. So looking at all of that, right, we've got context. Okay, and we've got context that actually makes sense going into this, and it's not just a case of I think it's going to go this way, or gambling or guessing. We're taking a logical position here, right? If we look at the ratio of risk to reward, the reward is much greater than the risk, and that is how it should always be. I do not believe in putting sort of 1 to 3R, 1 to 2R figures on it, but as long as the reward is greater than the risk, we're in good hands. So I'm going to bring up the chart again and the time and sales. So what this is, guys, this is bringing in the information of every single order as it's happening. Key information, right? You hardly ever seen this shown. I mean, imagine if you had a shop and you didn't have the data of every single purchase. It would be madness, right? How are we gonna know who's bought what, for how much, at what price, at what time have they bought it? So important, right? So loads of volume come in this area, not majorly high for live cattle. Generally you want sort of 700 plus at a price level in live cattle in this current market, July 2026, for to call it high volume. However, for the current day time frame period, within this initial balance, we're in high volume. And you can see, if I pull up the chart, you can see these sort of high wicks that are essentially buyers taking it up, and then it's a selling tail, so it's causing excess.
Or even 200 t-shirts with your face on. We're in. With our decades of know-how, we're ready to bring your ideas to life. Vistaprint. Print your possible at vistaprint.co.uk.
So yeah, as you can probably tell, I like my house music whilst I'm trading. It's it keeps the beat up, you know, keeps the energy going. Sometimes that's what you need. So far this is really nice for us, right? Because we're 3 minutes away from initial balance period being over. So C period starting. B has not come above A, right? However, it hasn't come below it either. It's come equal. So we'll see how we go with the C period. Splitting them out into this single half-hour auction time periods. What it's essentially going to do is, it means every half hour we know what's going on. It's not what's happened in the whole day, right? It's what's happened in the last half an hour, and that's the real key of what is happening, what's going on, etc. So price coming back to our entry point now. So it's a really key point to watch what's happening. 2 minutes until C period, probably less, 1 minute. So if we can hold below that high of the B period, so being the initial balance, then hopefully we should retrace back down. So you can see time and sales really moving now. A lot of orders coming in because that initial balance is finishing. So it's so key to know what's going on, right? Information is the most valuable commodity. The only reason people get fear and anxiety within the markets is because they don't know what they're doing, right? So the fact that we know what we're doing, we don't have any fear. The information coming in, any professional is watching this, right, and trying to understand, okay, what is happening. Now currently we're looking at quite a rotational balanced open. Now when it's quite a short initial balance like this, usually it can be tipped over pretty easily. So if you think of this as like a base of a lamp, and then the lamp coming out here and then the shade here, if a big gust of wind comes, so a big buyer or seller, the smaller the base, the easier for the lamp to tip, right, and fall in another direction. Now what I love here is that we've got this high volume area which should slow price, right, and we've got quite after this area here, we've got very low volume, so we should just go straight down if we can push through. So let's see how we go with that in the C period. So this is where we're going to get the other time frame participants stepping in to show us, okay, what is their market conviction, what is their direction that they're trying to take this market to. Now there is also a lot of old business that needs to take profits, essentially, right, cover their longs. So we've had obviously this day here come up. What do we want to do? Cover the longs and then go back up, test the next area. So well, generally that's what the market will want to do. So guys, it can take time, right? This is all part of the game. Now, I don't know if you saw what happened there. We had loads of bids come in, but price actually dropped. So we had a small increment of absorption there within the intraday play, which is really cool to see. I mean, if you notice that here we go, loads more coming in, price isn't going up. You can see, in fact, all those buyers came in at 0.85, and by the end of it was 0.8. And we've had, look, price drop down again, guys. Can you see this is absorption happening in real time? Amazing stuff. Now, I do just want to pull one of my profits a little closer. And the reason I do that, guys, that's to, right, so within trading, right, there's so many arenas, and whilst there is the arena of being correct and knowing what you're doing, there's also a completely separate arena of risk management, right? And risk management is something I go into obviously on a personal one-to-one student basis, but essentially if you're taking multiple contracts like I am, I've got 8 contracts on the line. Once we start seeing things, okay, it might be going our way, or even, okay, it might not be going our way, it's a good idea to take some partials for two reasons. One, it's going to secure some capital for the day, which if you do have a loss is going to limit that loss slightly. The other twist of it is that those two partials, or three, however many partials you've taken, that then reduces the stop loss if it is a loss as well. So key to always be dynamic, take partials along the way. And I know that someone might say to me and argue with me that, but if we take partials, we're leaving money on the table, we're not taking the full amount. Guys, if we look for the full amount in these markets, we're never going to win long term. Unfortunately, that just is what it is. You've got to take what the market gives you. So we're looking for that C to push lower than B. That is our confirmation, right? So for that C to get below the B. I'm just going to get the pen up because I don't know how well people can see this. So for the C to come below the B. So we're in a really high volume area, right? This 2379 area is most days previous has been very high volume. So we'll just see how we go with that. Now I want to talk about this composite right just below. So let's go and find where this is originally from. So this composite is made up of multiple days, 3 days, here, and I think, oh no, it's just a 2-day overlap. So these two combining the value within value, and what I love about this day is that we've got essentially a really balanced day, right? And then we've got sort of just a long profile, right? A sort of nice, maybe like a bit of a double distribution trend day. And I love them because it's within balance, but they're two totally different structures. So just a really nice area to key off, and look, hopefully it works for us. So we're approaching half an hour into this. Now I'm just thinking in terms of time, maybe to cut it short. I might cut it short, we'll see how we go. Or maybe I'll cut most of the contracts. This is what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna cut most of the contracts and we'll keep a few running. Just because obviously, guys, I don't want to be sat here for hours, and obviously I can't. This is live. I can't speed it up or anything. So sometimes it's best to just take those partials. So hopefully that can get filled. Yeah, there we go.
You can get a domain from Squarespace, not just a website.
Little advertisement for Squarespace. Okay, so you can see, guys, we've taken out that first position. It's a nice win. And what we can do now is there's a lot less pressure, right? Because the way I look at it, right, so I've secured now for the day 0.45, so it's 0.5%, right? So we can now take it a bit more chilled. Made 0.5%. We're going to bring the stops down slightly. And let's see what we can achieve. Just want to make one extra target there. Okay, so my placement, right? Why have I gone for this exact type of placement? Okay, so there's a really good story, guys, right? And it's I'm actually just gonna find it because I don't want to get it wrong. Okay, so the reason I have this story so close to me is because I often look at this every day, to be honest. So I'm going to read it to you very short, how I've written it. There was a gentleman named Garry Kasparov. He was a world chess champion. He once challenged 59 different school children in separate games of chess all at once. Right, guys, really interesting. Very quickly, C has broken. C has broken below. So for us, that is confirmation of our position. So we hold strong. Now let's continue with this because this is amazing, right? 59 school children, separate games, all at once of chess, right? So you had a big room, 59 separate tables laid out in a large square. He went from board to board selecting his moves, right? So what's really key to think about here is the time element. Each child, once Garry has made his move and moved to the next child, that child has 58 other moves for him to make time-wise to think about the next move, whereas he only has a couple of seconds at each board. So he's not just beating them, he's beating them with just a few seconds when they've probably got a couple of minutes on each move. It's fascinating stuff, right? So he spent very little time making decisions, whilst his opponents had lots of time. Now what's so amazing about this is that he beat 57 of them and drew with 2 of them, so he didn't lose a single game. So how does one do that in such a short space of time, right? It's more than skill alone, and I mean anyone has to agree with me on that, right? There is no way that can just be skill, right? And what you've got to think about, right, is that Garry Kasparov was a chess world champion. He's encountered every possible arrangement of the game's pieces that you could possibly have, right? And probably hundreds, thousands of times. And what's happened is he's able to rely on pattern recognition, right? So it's essentially speed reading or visualizing the chessboard in a way that if one person makes that move, you know, okay, for example, there's only 3 other moves they can make. And the most common move made out of those 3 is this one, right? So by recognizing these patterns, and it's so key when I talk about patterns, we're not talking about silly, you know what people do on the charts, they'll do silly bat patterns and flag patterns. This is real patterns from behavior, right? Human behavior. So he was making decisions based on past experiences in similar situations, and that is what we do with the market profile. So as a trader gains more experience with the market profile, multiple recognizable patterns begin to form. So I'm going to explain to you how I managed to enter this so early, right? The confirmation of the trade is the C going lower than the B, right? Leading to a rotation factor of -3. Now, what's interesting here is where have I entered? I've entered up here, and it was in the B period. So how am I in so many ticks early? And it's because of pattern recognition, right? So I've noticed from the open, we're about to, I think, get another profit here. Oh, went through on the market profile, didn't on the... And you know, sometimes, guys, people get so, you know, peed off when this happens, but this is markets, right? No one's screwing you. No, it's not the banks delaying you. It's just financial markets. That's just how they work. Sometimes it's a little bit delayed. So there we go. That's our second target of the day here. I'm gonna want to move this slightly because we might have a bit of a nicer trade. Okay, so the C period extension tail, we love to see it. Still a negative rotation factor, right? So we're still in a short market. OTPs, so anyone that trains with me knows that's the other time frame participant. Now they're involved, right? The C period, that's exactly what I said will happen, because and I don't mean this in a cocky way, guys. This is not me saying, oh, I know, you know, better than you and all of this. It's not that at all. What I'm saying is I know what is happening, right? I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. It's not like these people that will tell you, I'll sell now, and suddenly it goes the other way and you're like, what's going on? I do this day in, day out, right? So you're in good hands here, listening to me, following me. As I said at the start, I've done very well from this. So I'm more than qualified to show you this stuff. So where were we? Yeah, so we were talking about the pattern recognition, right? We've opened at extremes. Okay, so that either means we're going to break out of extremes or come back in. And what's so great about this particular structure from yesterday is that, in fact, although we're at extremes, and usually I'd like to trade out of the extreme, there's really low volume here, right, guys? There's no strong buyers coming in, and there's also heavy volume here, which gives us a really nice, I'll show you, a really nice sort of, I call it a flow of the market. So a really nice flow to come in, back down. Obviously not that simple. Obviously markets are more like this, but to come up, down, and then potentially reach for that higher level, right? So we have done that, right? We've tested it, but we haven't tested it as much as I know we can. So we are still very much in this market. So guys, as always, I can't show you everything, but I try and have up everything that I need, everything that you guys need to see. So when someone trains one-to-one with me, key to mention this. And if you would like to, there's no hard sale. Email me, drop me an email. I don't push you to train with me like most educators do on here. It's a very simple conversation. We'll have a 20-minute free Zoom call and we can just go over things. But anyone that does train with me with Market Profile, we go from essentially beginner to expert and everything in between. And once you're at expert level, it's incredible, right? Because you won't need a chart. And when I say that, people are like, what? How can you trade without a chart? And that's crazy. This chart, guys, is only here for for you. This is for your, entertainment purposes, but also just to show you, obviously the realized trades, the profits, the green lines, the positions within the chart. But really and truly, guys, that's all it's there for, right? And to be able to trade with just the market profile is a blessing, really. I mean, the guys who created this are just absolute geniuses, guys. This is it's not just maths, it's science, right? It's a scientifically based structure, the market profile. And that, I mean, you combine maths and science with trading, and it's a combination for a very impactful strategy, if you want to call it that. So guys, we've passed 40 minutes, so I'll see how we go. Obviously I don't want to go over an hour. We've taken some really nice profit for the day. 0.7%, guys. So as they say, 1% a day keeps the doctor away. So another thing I'll mention whilst the market's just taking a little breather here, when you learn with me, if you do decide to, right, so just drop me an email, ask me how it works, we can talk all about it. I'm going to get you to a stage, right, where because you genuinely know everything that's going on, right, from the time and sales to the depth of market to the market profile structure, all the way to the cumulative delta, you'll find that you'll be able to actually align this how you want it, and it's incredible, right? So I'll just give you an example. So let's take these volume numbers, right? You don't need these volume numbers because you can get it in other ways. I love them to be there because it's so clear to me, right? And especially with the price next to it. You may find that you don't want the price next to it. You may find that you want it on a separate chart on its own, a volume profile. You might find that, for example, at the bottom here, where I've got TPOs as a figure, just got rid of them. But so here, where I've got them as figures, you might want them as a percentage. And what's so beautiful is what we do together, right? We build your platform. So what you're seeing here, this is Sierra Charts. I build it with you, right? So we're going to build a weapon of a trading system there, because it's going to be bespoke for you, built by you, and understood by you. And when there's so many of these brokers currently online and charting packages, and you open them up, and their charting package is how you have to trade, right? Yes, you can add things in, etc., indicators, but that package is how you trade, right? You can change the colors and all of this, but you cannot change the actual build of the system, right? Whereas with Sierra Charts, we build this just for you, right? What you need to be seeing, the type of trader you are. So, for example, I had a client who was he's quite a lot older than me, right? He's retired and wanted to look into trading, and because of his age, he's quite slow at the trigger, working out the risk reward. And the way we built this for him, right, because he's quite slow, that might seem a disadvantage in financial markets, but it really isn't, right? Because he was quite slow getting the trade set up, working out the trade, and then obviously, as you know, it can happen, the market would go without him. The way I built it for him, right, we focused mainly on high volume areas where the market is slow. So you can see right here, this is a high volume area, right? High volume here, high volume here. It's all within the same region, right? So we're in a high volume region. What that does is, because it's such a great place for trade to be facilitated, it slows down the market, right? And I'm not just saying that as like a theory of mine, right? It's fact. So this is why it's slowed down right now, because we're in that area. And the way me and this gentleman, this client of mine, built it was so that because he is slow with pulling the trigger, again, not a problem, right? If anything, it's an advantage. We built his system so that he's taking positions off high volume nodes, right? So it's slower for him. So for example, when we were in this B period, he would have taken a short probably right around here. Once that C period passed B, that was our confirmation right there. Taken down, remove, take profit. He's had a lovely trade. And I'm sure, I haven't spoken to him today, but I'm sure that is the position he took if he was trading live cattle. And what I'm saying there, guys, is that don't worry about the personality type you have as a trader, because we will build this together for you, and it's bespoke. And that's what's so incredible about the service that I provide personally. It's bespoke, it's made for you, right? We build this together, all the way down to the colours that you want to use, right? And as I say, I always suggest different colours for every asset. That is what every professional does, because the reason is, guys, when you're locked in that zone and you're switching between assets, and they're all the same colours, it's very easy to mistake one for another. And say, for example, you were going to buy the S&P and sell gold, you could end up buying the S&P, switching over and buying gold, not selling gold, because it's the same colour. It's happened before many a time. So just really key to keep that in mind. You always want different colours for different assets. So we're approaching, to be honest, 50 minutes. We'll see how we go, guys. So yeah, obviously in an ideal world, within the hour time limit, we'd come down, test. But the one thing with trading, guys, you can never time it, right? So we'll just see how we go. You know what, because we're near the entry, here's a great point to flatten. Beautiful. So we're just under 0.8% for the day, so round up to 1%. Very nice day. I've cut off there for a few reasons, right? Firstly, it's high volume area, it's slow. We're approaching an hour of video time, so it's just generally a good thing to do. Just because I don't want to go on too long. I understand that I don't edit these in what you might call like a traditional fun way, so I understand it can get quite how do you say it, like a school lesson type, and obviously we don't want to be sat here for hours. So there we go, guys. That is if you're in normal live cattle futures contracts for the day, that is £760 profit. in less than an hour. So you can see the power of this, guys. It really is incredible. So I'm just going to stretch this out. And obviously those are our winning positions for the day. Now obviously at the end of the day I'll come back and I analyse, you know, did we reach target, did we potentially reverse, and was that our test there, you know, was that our test of value, and that was it for the day. So I come back, analyse that. It's so important, like, going into the next day, because we know, let's just say for example, that was our reversal, right? We know, okay, tomorrow, let's say we get to about here, we're looking, okay, are we going to push through, are we going to reject? So there's all these things that come from that, right? Or that lead on from today to tomorrow. So yeah, just really key to always think about that. In the D period now, the fact that C's gone lower, obviously we can expect D to keep dropping. Got a rotation factor of -3 still, so yeah, lovely day, guys, lovely day. So yeah, I hope you can see the passion for this, right? This is something that I do day in, day out. I love this stuff, and with me, you're not trading a pattern on a chart, right, or a line, or you're trading real market generated information, and this is it, guys, right? So if you're looking to take this professional in 2026, which, let's be honest, is such a great time though, because when I started, guys, you had to fund your own account. Excuse me. And like, for me, it was quite easy, right? I'd always done this, and I made very good money in other businesses, right? I've even had a very successful fitness business. You know, I move. I'm not the type of guy to that's going to allow myself to be poor in life. You know, I make the moves I need to make. But I had to fund my own account, right? And when days got hard, they got really hard. And there's days where, you know, you'd lose a lot of money, guys, and you got to go out, you know, with your girlfriend the next day or that evening and try and have a good time, knowing you're spending, I don't know, £200 on the dinner, and you just lost £1,000 of your own money that day, and you know, it can really affect you. And what's so nice nowadays in 2026, right? There's prop firms, and a lot of them are scams, but there are some real ones too. And if you can prove that you're good at this, you know, you can make a living off this. So it's, you know, it's very, very possible to do 10,000, 15,000 a month from prop firms, build your own live capital account, and make a really good living for multiple years. So if this is something you want to do or you want to explore, definitely drop me an email. Always going to reply. Comment on the video if there's anything you didn't understand, and yeah, please obviously give me a like or subscribe if you enjoy these. Obviously, I'm not a content creator, right? I'm a trader, and this is what these videos are. But yeah, again, if you're genuinely interested in doing this for a living, as I have for years, you know, and the rewards are great, the risk is there, but as I say, you don't need to use your own money anymore, guys. It's a different world. It's an amazing world to start trading. You can use prop capital, so let's get it, you know. Amazing trade today, guys. Live cattle futures, as I say again, £760 profit in about 40 or 50 minutes. So yeah, amazing stuff, guys. Have a great day. Thank you for watching as well. And yeah, look forward to the next one.